Welcome to the meditation. You've made it here. And that's, of course, the big effort to make it to the meditation. And from here, the effort gets more subtle. So first of all, just appreciate that effort of making it here, putting aside this time of the resolve that you've used to shore up your practice here. And acknowledge that because you've made it to the meditation, you can put aside any thoughts, worries, concerns of the past or of the future. And that's not to say that those thoughts won't come up. It's very likely they will. But this is simply acknowledging, deciding, intending, whatever helps you to be sure that you don't need to engage with those for this time. The only thing that you need to really worry about is if the fire alarm goes off. Everything else you can just treat as sensations, experiences arising in awareness. Now, as you settle, come into the present moment, I'd like you to notice the sounds that you can hear. Notice the sound that is in the moment you notice. Tuning into that moment by moment change. The soundscape is constantly shifting. Even the sounds of sounds produced that are consistent or endure over time, they tend to change, get louder or softer, be slightly different, or be part of a different complete soundscape. Tuning in to that moment by moment change. And just as you're listening to these sounds, I'd like you to now tune in to listen to the sensations of the body, being receptive to the field of sensations. Now, again, the sensations of the body are changing constantly. There are some that are relatively consistent, that feeling of being held or supported. Perhaps there's a sense of pressure there, solidity. But even that is changing moment to moment. And depending on what level you look at, if you zoom in really close, you can see that those sensations change. Or if you zoom out far enough, you can see that those sensations change. We want to look in the moment, look at the moment to moment change. Looking quite closely at the sensations of the body right now. And then tune in to the sensations of the breath, refining that scope of attention so that the breath is in the foreground and all other sensations are in the background. And this might be a 50-50 split. So the breath is foregrounded, but there's still a lot of energy with the sounds, with the whole body. You might prefer to zoom in a bit more, maybe an 80-20 split, but keep some sense of the background, some sense of the whole body awareness. I'd like you to just follow the sensations of the breath. Noticing how the sensations change, they fluctuate, they shift. No two breaths are exactly the same. And see if it's possible to take a real interest in the breath, to watch it with curiosity. Verify this for yourself. Are two breaths the same? Looking at your own experience, the sensations, the building blocks of what you experience. And as you focus in on this present moment experience, noticing change, noticing the uniqueness of this moment, see if it's possible to deeply relax, to let go into that flow, that constantly changing, shifting present moment, to let go of any need to control, any need to make this moment a certain way. Good. So now that we are a bit more relaxed and settled, Let's take the same approach to thoughts and mental activity. So I'd like you to step back a bit, allow awareness to be open, but observe, bring your focus to the space where thoughts occur. This might be a sense of that space of the head. Maybe there's a sort of mental screen that feels like it's just behind or at or in front of the eyes. Might feel like there's a location that thoughts occur that are sonic, perhaps at the ears or in the head, somewhere around the head. Basically watching that mental screen, bringing focus to the space where thoughts occur. I want you to observe this space very clearly, moment by moment. And so, first of all, there can either be no thought, no distinct mental activity in that moment, or there will be some mental activity. If there's no mental activity, simply rest in that sense of stillness and presence, while remaining vigilant for the next thought. And if there is some kind of mental activity, I want you to observe it clearly and notice if it is a thought about the past, the present, or the future. Now, there are some other possibilities because it's the thinking space, there are imagined times, but let's leave those out for now. Let's just notice past, present, and future. And just clearly identify what the thought is to do with, and just observe that mental screen. Listen to that mental space. Now, see if it's possible to notice that thoughts tend to be linked together. They tend to progress over time or jump around or shift, change in some sense. See if it's possible to notice a moment of a thought, to see an instant of a thought. And see if it's possible to observe the thoughts so clearly without getting involved that they don't lead from one to another. And this is very challenging, but give it a go and see what happens. Seeing very clearly what the thoughts are made up of in the moment. When you spot a thought, just very distinctly seeing it, it may simply dissolve, not lead into another thought. Staying with that present moment experience of thinking. And finally, if there are not many thoughts, resting in that stillness, or if there is still thinking, mental processing, noticing that there are gaps, little pauses or moments of less activity, and simply resting in those moments, noticing that the activity can continue on without engaging. without the mind getting caught up